All right. Hello, hello. What's going on? It is me, Jay Renard, and we are here with uh with a nice working night tonight. Gonna be going ahead. I'm gonna be going and knocking out a couple of card holders tonight. I am simultaneously streaming on Twitch as well. Let me go on ahead and all right. So what we're going to be knocking out is a bunch of actually I'm going to be prepping a bunch of card holders that are going to be sold hopefully sold in a market that I got coming up next week. All right, so let me go on ahead and grab those. What's up, Doug? All right, so those are done. They just need to be have the edges cleaned up. This one just has to have the edges cleaned up. These ones need their edges cleaned up as well. Some of these actually require some of the holes to be punched. And these are the edge paints that I'm going to be using. Don't worry, they're not going to stay on screen. All right. But that is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be prepping for a market. Got one coming up on Wednesday evening, which is a bit odd for a market, but hey, we'll take those. Same thing right there, prepping the edges and punching the holes so that they can be ready to be sold. If anyone has any questions, go on ahead and drop them in the chat. I will do my best to ensure that I see them all and respond in kind. All right. So if anybody has any questions, hit me up. I will be taking some requests, although obviously I can't take all of them. And maybe, just maybe, there will be a giveaway, although that's still up in the air. And then these as well need to have their edges prepped, although not everything, but some of them. Definitely these two. And this one needs to be finished off better. So that one's going to go at the bottom. So, part of prepping the edges, weirdly enough, is sanding. A lot of people don't really sand the edges, which I think is a little bit odd. It's a good way to ensure that things are closer to being more uniform. And just like any bit of sanding, you should have different grits. So starting off with the 320, then moving up to the 400. That should be pretty sufficient, although some things will require something more fine. I do have this is either 800 or 1,000. This is a 1,000 over here. All right. Gonna come over here. All right. Now, hopefully,
just like we had a punishment for Assassin's Creed,
you should be able to see my stream. I just want to cut this on so that I can see whatever chat might be coming. Boom, right there. Let's do that. Cut that off. All right. Man, this desk looks crazy cluttered. Let's straighten this out here. Put like with like. Okay. All right, so we're going to be doing here is adding some edge flex to this one right here. Make sure I've got the binder clips to keep it upright. Get that out of the way. Now, this was cut with a die press, so the cuts are nice and precise, but still just gonna do this to true up the edges. Doesn't need to be done much here because the first go round is really just to make sure that the first layer of the edge paint is adhering well. And then afterwards, we're going to be using a much finer sandpaper to just rough up the edges to make sure that the next few coats have good adherence. So we're not trying to take off much, we're really just trying to make sure that the surface is level and sufficient enough to get good adherence. Adhesion, I'm not sure what the proper term would be for this. This one is off by maybe a 0.5 millimeter. So instead of holding it and holding the sandpaper in hand, I'm gonna do this to ensure that the sandpaper is flat, and then that way I know it's in contact with the sandpaper and it will be flush. So the other way to do this is to wrap the sandpaper around a straight stick. However, that does require you to hold the sandpaper at a proper 90-degree angle, or yeah, the proper 90-degree angle to the piece. And some people have a sure hand like that, but not everybody does. So that is what I'm doing here. Sandpaper's flat. And I just realized that I failed to do something that I should have done, and that is I didn't bevel this yet. I'm doing this weird bevel technique here when I'm beveling towards myself because I just cannot do this with my left hand. I'm just not that dexterous. Remember this. It's better for you to turn the piece than to turn your hand. Actually, let me rotate this to give myself a little bit more space here. Side note, this is the Palo Santo Edge Beveler. Hashtag not sponsored. Can I get a focus? There we go. I don't like recommending Palo Santo because they are expensive. However, in my personal opinion, they are worth it if you are either making a lot of things and you're giving them as gifts, or you are selling your pieces. At that point, the time saved with in my opinion, a superior product is worth it. But I mean, for instance, just the beveler is, I want to say, $75, and that was when I bought it in, I think, 2019 or thereabouts was when I bought my first one. And the first time that I used it, it was light years better than any other product I had used from either Tandy or Sewa. I mean, no diss, no shade to Tandy or Sewa, but like fresh out of the box, Palo Santo stuff was far sharper and easier to use than even Tandy's Pro Series stuff. However, it's double the price, if I remember right, of Tandy's Pro Series stuff, at least at the time. So, worth it if you are producing a lot, or if this is your business in leathercraft. Come on. What's up, Doug? Hold on. YouTube chat. Say what's up to Doug. There we go. Please don't do that. No. You're going to knock the thing over. Just lay down. Lay down. Thank you. Stop. You're about to knock that over. Lay down. Thank you. And now he wants to whine because he's not getting attention, which is understandable. All right. That's ready to go. Those These edges are not beveled, but this is shell cordovan, so that's going to be done at a later time. This is actually, let me show this here. This is actually hippo leather. Let me move this over here so I can make sure the stuff is in frame. All right, good to go. So yeah, hippo leather. And you know what? I'm gonna wait until, of course you would make noise now, wouldn't you, Doug? I'm gonna wait until after I stitch the holes. I'm not gonna hand stitch this one. This one's got holes punched ready to be hand stitched. Actually, no, this one's good to go. That'll be done last. This one's already beveled. That one's already beveled. This one isn't, but it's a really soft leather. Beveling it is just gonna ruin it. Found that out the hard way. This one's really thin. I'm not gonna bevel it. Actually, this is calfskin hair-on, and it's been given this texture because it's embossed. Hold on, let me turn the brightness up if I can. There we go. All right. Da 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 da. And this one here, this is American alligator and veg tan, and this is gator with a nubuck finish. So it has a sueded sort of feel. Not quite that more felt look and feeling of suede, but something similar. So is this the right one for this? No, it's not. All right, so here's a funny one. So this is also a Palo Santo beveler, but Palo Santo doesn't make these. I got this from District Leather Supply. They have really trippy looking bevelers for the Palo Santo blades. So Palo Santo makes their stuff out of wood. So these are definitely straight from Palo Santo. Got another French skyber of theirs over here too. So this is some of Palo Santo stuff. The craftsmanship on the haft here and the blade, that's all Palo Santo. But the handle comes from District Leather. Pretty trippy, you had to get it. All right, put those away, no clutter. Actually, I'll start it here. Oh, so this was a 1. The one I previously used was a 2. Oh my God, my dog's chewing on his toy. As loud as possible. Thank you for that, Doug. You're the best. At least he's not snoring, which I guess I can't really complain about because I have sleep apnea, so I'm sure I snore louder than he does. Oh, that's where the strap is there. Actually, let's do this. Make it all nice on one level. Remember, turn your project, not yourself. Almost Scratch the front of this there, technically the back. Should have remembered this little thing here. So what I'm doing here is, because this has a strip in the front, when I'm beveling, I want to make this all the same height. I should have done that here, but I forgot. Like right there, should have done it. And then once it transitions over, bring this up right there. There. So it looks a little better. A little cleaner, a little neater. I have never thought about how loud it is that he chews on that antler until right now. And now it's unavoidable. I can't stop the stream. Or rather, I'd be a bad owner to make him stop just for the sake of the stream. If that is a little too loud or annoying, let me know. I don't want to make the stream unenjoyable for those here. All right. See if I missed any chats. I don't believe I did, but we're still checking. All right, good to go. Scroll over here. Doug, I swear if you knock over my light. All right, I don't see any questions in the chat, so I'm going to keep going. But again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, gripes, grievances, or requests, go on ahead, let me know in the chat. All right. With this one, I'm probably not going to use the edge paint. I'm probably just going to burnish. Come on. There we go. Oh my goodness, all that coffee I had earlier is starting to hit me. I'm getting shaky. Whoa. Yep. Very, very shaky right now. Also probably low blood sugar. I hit the gym earlier today. It was shoulder day, and let me tell you, I'm feeling it right now. Absolutely, I'm feeling it. Uh, I think I'm gonna try to figure out how to get music rolling in the stream sometime soon. I am very new to this whole Twitch aspect of the streaming. On YouTube, you can't really have music on the live unless you know it's copyright free. They are really, really quick to get you on that one. Ba-da-da-da. For the folks watching, if you have any suggestions, or rather, we'll just, you know what, we'll run a quick contest. Why not? I got somebody watching on Twitch and somebody's watching on YouTube. So, anyone care to guess how much I charge for these, what I call flap wallets here? Whoa, come on. There we go. So, these bad boys here. With a thinner leather like this, you can actually hold a quite good amount of cards and or cash. I think at one point I had one and I had maybe 8 cards, and I think I could easily hold 100 US and 100 US and a bunch in Japanese yen, but the notes, not the coins. Well, let's rotate that back. There we go. So for anyone who's been to Japan for a bit, you know there's a lot of coin money. They don't have single dollars like we do here in the States, or even $5. Their bills start at 1,000 yen, which is a little bit. It's somewhere around $9 right now, if I remember right. Although I can't remember exactly. So it'd be more or less as if U.S. money didn't start having bills until the $10 bill. So in Japan, you've got a single yen coin, a 5 yen coin, a 10 yen coin, then it jumps to 50, and then a 100 yen coin, which is, I guess, more or less $1. So similar to in Canada, and I believe in the EU also. I think in the EU, I think the bills might start at 5. I know they definitely have a 10 euro bill. I think they might have a 5 also. Haven't been to the EU in a long time. So, but a good amount of cash and a fair amount of cards can fit into these flap wallets. So anybody got any guesses as to how much one of these cost? And if you guess right, I'll give you 3 guesses each. If you guess right, I will send you one that I make. One of these that get made tonight, you'll get if you guess correctly within 3 guesses as to how much I charge for these. No, they're not on my Etsy shop. I haven't seen enough individual demand for them to put them on the shop. But when I sell them at the markets, people go for them pretty well. So any guesses, by all means. Let me I'm not seeing my chat on Twitch, which is odd. I don't have it turned off. Whoa. I think my Twitch is frozen. No? Okay. Okay, I'm not sure what that was, but all right. Yep, sorry for the hold up. I was just trying to make sure I was doing everything fair. And I just could not see my Twitch chat, so maybe it's not there. Let me make sure I have it turned on here. Okay, no, it's on. All right. Well, still, whoever guesses right on as to what I charge for these, first person to guess it, you have 3 tries. I will send you one. Now, this one coming up, this one's a unique one. I think I already beveled this one. But this piece here, I keep turning this. This piece here is unglazed shell cordovan. Got the logo there, got the stitch line already marked out. Unglazed shell cordovan. Now your regular shell cordovan looks something like this with the glaze to it, and you can easily just YouTube the process, so you can see the process that they go through to actually make it glazed. Hold on. There we go. The process they go through to make it glazed. They use a hot stone. Sounds weird and honestly not really a thing, but there it is. All right, but yeah, this one's already done. Just gotta burnish, because shell cordovan, when it's burnished, whoa, puberty hit, bro, voice cracking. Shell cordovan, when it's burnished, looks great. And the inside of this is going to be this piece here, this basket weave. So it's going to look like this. So these 2 pieces will give me 1, 2, 3 pockets. Pretty neat design, right? 1 pocket, 2 pockets, 3 pockets. Where's my beveler? There it is. All right, but I teased it enough, so now we're just gonna roll right into it. This is honestly one of the most stressful parts of leather crafting for me, is the I've talked about it before. Quick side rant here. Due to an accident on the back end of my naval career, I am now permanently handicapped. My dominant hand, my right hand, is all messed up. So some things are just very tough to do, including opening certain things. I just, while I don't fully lack the dexterity, it is very, very difficult to do certain things. So here we are. All right, that's the 400. All right, so I'm gonna true up the edges a bit here. There's also some glue on the end, so I wanna make sure that that's gone. Okay. I'm gonna get another one to make it a little wider in the base. Spread this out a bit. Weirdly, with thicker leathers, this is an easier process. Move that up a little bit too much. There we go. This is killing me. There we go. All right, so a lot of companies make these edge paint rollers. The best one that I've used so far, hashtag not sponsored, but I wish I was. It was from this company, Giardini. Get that right there. Okay. The one that Tandy makes is nice, but it doesn't roll. It doesn't rotate as well. I'm not sure what the deal is. It's either too tight at the little part here where it sits in, or it's too tight right there. It just doesn't roll as well. So when you're applying it, sometimes it'll stick, and then this part here will just drag, and it will ruin the piece that you were operating on. You want it to roll smoothly. So that's what we're going to shoot for. I forgot I had this. This is a lot better. There we go. Now, the one thing that I have that applies edge paint that rolls significantly smoother. So you have this piece here. It rolls really, really well. And then this piece here from Dream Factory, this is actually a 5-in-1 tool. Again, not sponsored, although Dream Factory, I wish you would sponsor me because I love this thing. So you saw how nicely this rolls. You can set it down and it rolls along the edge really, really well. All right, now this piece here, it rotates very, very easily and freely, but it does require a little bit more care, and it's harder to clean because these things here, they'll pull in the edge paint material a lot better. But it's harder to clean out the grooves on the inside than this piece here. So sometimes you got to take into consideration what it is that you're doing. Now this piece here is a little too fine, a little too flimsy, quite honestly, for something like this. It's very heavy, and I might push it over and mess up the ends. So we're gonna edge paint with this one. Some people like to keep the edge paint matching. This piece here, obviously it's black. I like to have things just a little bit, just have a little bit of accent. So I'm using the navy blue edge flex. Navy blue edge flex. Again, hashtag not sponsored, but I wish that I was. Doo-doo-doo. So again, this first coat is just to essentially lock in the edge paint. This first coat of your edge paint is never going to look great. It's just going to work. You should be absolutely adding multiple coats of edge paint to your pieces if and when you do apply edge paint. Peter Knits, aka the goat, he if you saw his edge paint, if you saw his skills, you'd think that he was applying probably 10, 15, 20 layers because it's so smooth. I had messaged him. I was like, "Oh man, how many coats are you going? Because it's so clean." And he said, "Never more than 4," which blew my mind. That is outstanding. So his edge finishing, the work that he does prior to, is what makes his coat or his edge paint so solid. His edges are crisp. His bevels are very solid. He doesn't always bevel, but it just kind of depends on what the piece is. Although most of the time he does, at least from what I've seen. Yeah, we're gonna do. Actually, no, I'm gonna use a different paint for that one. So, but and then he'll sand. He'll start at something higher, like 400, and then his edge painting in between will be something like 1,000, maybe 800 to 1,000. So the last two coats are just beautiful and clean and crisp. So we're gonna let that dry, and while we're letting that dry, we're going to apply edge paint on these other pieces here that I had set up, because we are not in the business of literally watching paint dry on the stream. We're not going to do that. Whoa, almost had too much. There we go. So I'm using significantly more than that one because this edge is a lot thicker. A little bit spilled off to the side. Not much that it was going to be an issue, but enough that it was going to bug me. Sorry I'm not talking a lot, but I really don't want to mess up this edge here. So concentrating. I hope that you all will forgive me for that one. How you holding up over there, Doug? Uh, uh, da da da. Come on. Well, that's still drying, so we're gonna do another one. But we're not gonna ruin these pieces. Do-do-do. Yep. Just remember, the worst part about edge painting is that at some point you literally can't do anything but watch paint dry. That sucks a great deal. There we go. Uh, and in the case of this particular type of wallet here, I'm gonna have to do about 1/2. Maybe even the smart move is to do 1/4, just one section at a time. Oh, please note, I'm not gonna have y'all stick around and literally watch paint dry like that. I'm just gonna start the process and then see if anybody gave the attempted at answering the contest and get some free stuff, and then wrap the stream up. I'm told that if I get a little fan, then it'll help the dry time. We will see. All right. Next coat. No, that's still a little wet. It's really upsetting. This one, yeah, that's going to be several coats, probably more like 6, just to make sure everything's all good and filled in. Do I have anything else that needs the glue? Nope. All right, let's see if I got any questions. Not there. All right. Much respect to the viewers checking my stuff out. I really appreciate it. Everybody's got to start with one, and I'm grateful that you're sticking around for it. I really am. I know this isn't the most glamorous or sexy sort of craft out there, but it is real, you know? All right, I was about to use the 320, but we're not going to do that. So we're going to slide to the 400. Yeah, 400. I thought it was 440 for a second. Nope. It looked dry, but it was just tacky. Although the first two layers are going to be terrible anyway. It's the third and the fourth that are going to make it look the cleanest. And you might be wondering why I'm only doing this edge here. It's because this edge here is going to be the least operated. Up here, this one's going to get touched a lot, and the edge paint's going to roll up and come off. And this one too, same thing. This one too, same thing. And plus, it's hair on, so there's no real burnishing to it. But this edge here is going to be just, this one isn't going to be operated. I mean, it might get touched, but it won't be the same to the same degree as it is here. So right there. And I'm glad that I went with that second coat. The second coat went on really, really well on this pass here. So I think the third is going to be phenomenal. I don't know if this one needs... Yeah, I think I will hit it with the sander, or the sandpaper rather. Give that a bit. You know what? While we're here, I do have this piece here I made last year. I had a market on the 4th of July, so I decided to make a red, white, and blue themed piece. So this was one. Actually, I made a few, and this was one of them. So this will also get the blue edge paint treatment, because why not? Oh, I'm over here turning this piece again. My hands are shaking. I need some calories badly. Maybe an apple or something. Got a bunch in the fridge. I'm just not going to stop the stream for food. Da 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 da. And for anyone wondering why I'm doing this this way, where I'm just doing one piece instead of going all the way around. I want to allow for it to dry. So I'm doing it in quarters. So this quarter, the other quarter. So I'm gonna get one good coat, then the other side, then the other side, so forth and so on. That one's still drying. This one's good to go. Put this over here. Again, sorry for the not talking. I'm just kind of zoned in on not messing this up. I got to make sure that this coat here is thin so that it doesn't run and drip. That's another reason for the sandpaper. I could get into the physics of it all, but long story short, if it's a little rougher, there's slightly more surface area, so it'll stick better. Nope. And yeah, I shouldn't have dipped that in there, but hey. Actually, you know what? No. We're going to fix this mistake that I made up here. So what I forgot to do, or I should say I did poorly, is I didn't get this edge up here. And I should have. Ugh, I touched the edge. Terrible. I'm gonna have to fix that with subsequent passes, but such is the nature of things. I am so sorry I did that poorly for the YouTube stream here. So what I did was this. I forgot to do this part. So I went ahead and did that part. So I'm gonna let that section dry and I'm gonna check it a lot to make sure that it doesn't drip down the side, but it's looking like it's holding pretty steady. So now onto the, since that's well and dry, Gonna move on to the next section, which is gonna be this piece here. Little odd, but still, we're gonna make it work. Again, would love if somebody would try to guess as to how much these flap wallets cost. Da-da-da-da. There we go. Nope. Still tacky, so that's still wet. Well, while that is drying, I want to start on these other pieces here. So, I'm gonna put this there so it doesn't dry out. And I'm gonna start on these ones. But for these ones, I'm going to use the Dream Factory roller. And yep, I'm gonna start with these two. It'll be essentially the same process. Sadly, the big one isn't going to get done on stream. Going to do it tonight. Just, again, I'm not going to have y'all literally watching paint dry once I make sufficient progress. Ooh, almost dipped this into the wrong paint. That was going to be an event. This one, we're going with the dark Bordeaux. I gotta say, this is one of my favorite colors to use for the edge paint. It goes really well with a lot of things. The downside is it's really thin. I don't know why Tandy decided to make, actually I don't even know if it's Tandy. I think EcoFlow is Tandy's, home brand. But this stuff needs way more coats. Way more. And you'll see in a minute what I'm talking about. It is far more fluid and thinner than any other edge paint that I've used from any other company. I mean, it's clearly edge paint. It's just significantly thinner. It runs much more like water than paint. At first I thought, oh man, I didn't shake it up enough or anything like that. Like maybe some of the sediment is settled to the bottom or something like that. No, it's just really thin. What would be 3 to 4 coats is easily 5 to 6 with this stuff. Weird part though, technically, because it's so many and because it's so fine, it looks great when it's done, but whew, man, again, so many coats and it's so thin. And this piece is just not wanting to work with me. But yeah, we'll get a bunch of pieces going at the same time. Whoa. You know what? Hopefully, this will be a little better. That's a lot. I have heard, I've used a couple of times this one technique where you just will get something like a pen or a pencil, and you'll dip it in to the edge paint and then just lightly drag it along. I've seen that method. I've used it a couple times on smaller things. I am not a fan, probably because I was terrible at it. But hey, maybe it's just me and the sour grapes. And hopefully you saw that stupid mistake I just made. I was trying to apply this, but I was holding it here, so I dragged the damn applicator and messed up what I had. All right. Go over the side, a little bit over. Okay. All right. And this piece here actually already has some paint on it, but I'm going to give it its last, well, one more coat. It's probably going to need two, but again, I'm not going to have y'all up here for this one, for both coats. There we go. It's a lot. Again, sorry for the lack of talking. I was just making sure I didn't mess this up. At this stage, I don't know if I could talk through it because this is where things will either get rock solid or become terrible. All right. So this one is looking like it's shaping up to turn out really, really well. This might be its last coat. All right. So some of y'all might know what this is, some of y'all might not. These are mechanics shop rags, and they are phenomenal in the leathercraft studio, let me tell you, because they're not very expensive. They're pretty coarse, so you can use them to wipe off stuff. And they're easily washable, but you don't need to treat them all crazy nicely as if it were, say, a microfiber cloth. All right. No. I mean, they were all mostly, if not completely dry anyway, but still, a little bit of anxiety there. Actually, I can move these off to the side. All right. All right, so this was with just, I think, 2 coats. Relatively smooth. You can see a little bit of the thing right there. So this has to be sanded and then maybe 2 more coats and it'll fill that in so it'll be nice and uniform, one uniform line. And I have to sand down these high points, but that'll get done off stream. But again, only 2 coats, so 2 more and it would be just fine. This one here, just a singular coat right there and right there. I'm sorry, I should have showed this up here for the Twitch chat. So that's 2 coats. Not terrible, not at all. Get a little bit closer. 2 more coats and it should be just fine, nice and filled in. All right. And we all saw the first coat with this one here. And this is the first coat with that significantly more thin dark Bordeaux edge paint. Much, much thinner. Nice, and it fills in things really well, but it's still a lot thinner. So it's going to take a lot more work and effort to get the same effect. But I think I have, okay, yeah, here we go. Now, this is an example of many more coats of the dark Bordeaux. Nice and relatively smooth. Good stuff. I like it a lot. Feels good. Great in the hand. But way more than 4 coats because of how thin it is. They do put that back there. And this, I believe this is the 3rd coat of this one here. Is turning out pretty well. Although, even though I used a thin layer, it's still dripping down the side a bit. Yeah, first coat turned out pretty well on all of these, at least for the side there. But this is one of the most tedious aspects of the leather crafting game. Even with the little small fan, this will take a while to do. Even if I knocked all of these out, had everything done and ready to go, there would be a point in time where I'm just waiting and waiting to be able to move to the next one. The only way that I wouldn't have that happen is if I had maybe 12 going at the same time, so that I'd start one, then go down the line to the other. Then by the time I finish the last one, the first one's ready to go again. And honestly, I just don't have the racks set up for that. I don't even know if those exist. I have to get them custom made. And I just don't have the attention span for that, especially not when I'm trying to stream. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap that up here. Nobody made any guesses about how much the thing would cost. So we'll see how that rolls on the replays if anybody watches. But show you what I had here: card holder, ostrich skin, the calfskin liner, cowhide with the alligator tail embossing. Very patriotic. Move that over here. Again, the hair-on calf skin with the, I think, python embossing. Oh, wait, I just showed that to the one crowd. Sorry about that. I didn't show it to everybody. The hair-on embossing for the Twitch chat there. The ostrich hide embossed. Oh, that's not embossed. That's actual ostrich hide with the calf skin with the vertical line embossing right there. Then our very patriotic red, white, and blue with the gator tail embossing. Then the purple alligator tail card holder with the wine colored calfskin liner and pockets. Wine colored calfskin, goatskin liner and pockets. Black shell cordovan card holder. And the calfskin wine colored pockets. No liner because the inside was a tight grain and smooth. And the burgundy / wine color hippo not liner, hippo card holder. And one of the pieces that I didn't get to, this is veg tan Horween leather with the pebble grain card holder. Again, no liner because the interior is a good tight grain. And then the flap wallets here that are gonna get stitched up later. That might be a later stream, probably tomorrow, who knows. Same one with the veg tan leather, but the gator embossing. This one's probably just gonna get burnished. And then this piece here will end up looking like this one here. Oh, this is monitor lizard, by the way, and this is buffalo hide. So that's what this piece is going to look like, but this is unglazed shell cordovan. And this is veg tan with the basket weave. So it will look like so. There we go. Boom. Bigger clip. Yep. So it look like this when it's nice and done. Boom. Get out of the way. Let me. All right. Well, it's been pushing 90 minutes where y'all sat here and had to deal with me. I greatly appreciate it. I really do. Let's see what all I have here. Oh, okay. And there would not be anything that I have going on for myself without folks here having the attention and wanting to see my stuff and helping me to get it out there. So I really, really appreciate it. I truly do. It matters a lot to me, and I thank everybody who stuck around and everybody who follows and subscribes and all that good stuff. I appreciate it a whole lot. Just a few other pieces that I've finished over the years. Shell cordovan, I love it. It's a great feeling leather. This is also shell with cowhide with the gator embossing and actual gator on the outside. And this is the Horween leather, Dublin. And then shell cordovan, good stuff with a horsehide on the inside there. But yeah, stuff I got trying to sell. Father's Day is coming up, so think about your old man. Think about me. Hopefully, I have something that's already made. I'd love to make something for him if that's not the case. Thank y'all for chilling out with me. I really appreciate it. I'm Jerry Renard. Oh, wait. I totally forgot. I should have said this at the beginning. Watch of the day, because I love my watches. Got my anniversary watch. Excuse me, not my anniversary watch. My retirement gift watch. Tudor 1926. 41 mil on the strap that I made for myself, the Boond Racer. But I made it a little chunky, so I don't know if it's a true racing strap, but it's a Boone strap and I love it. Tudor 1926 on the Racer strap. All right. Thank y'all very much for your time and attention. I really appreciate it. Again, if you got any questions, comments, concerns, gripes, grievances, or requests, go ahead and put them in the chat for the little bit of time that's left, or make a comment on the video. I get all my alerts, and as long as it's not too crazy and it's in good faith, I'll reply back to whatever it is that you're asking or requesting. And I really appreciate it. Thank you all very much. I'm Jay Renard, and I'm out. Peace. Let's wrap this up.